Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last video I posted, I got the Red Wiggler bins ready, and they're waiting for the Red Wigglers to arrive. So today I'm going to get ready the European night crawlers, but I forgot to show you the ingredients that I put in the bins, so I'm going to show them to you now. So here we have the mushroom compost, the peat moss, and this is the manure. I have some cornmeal here, and that's the alfalfa pellets. I buy things in large quantities like this because honestly it's a lot cheaper. And this is the lime. So it's a lot cheaper to buy it like this if you're going to continue to use this much. But honestly, breeder bins for commercial are not going to use all this stuff. I have it. Might as well, right? Their main ingredient's going to be peat moss, and this is for indoors. Peat moss and the oyster shell, and sometimes some of them add blood meal, bone meal, kelp meal, some kind of meal. But the thing is, with those ingredients, I wouldn't mix them into the bedding. I would put them as a surface food source because you never know. Things heat up, you're going to be in trouble. So basically this is, I'm going to use this stuff until, I get rid of it. And then I'm just going to stick to peat moss and my oyster shell. And maybe I'll keep using this stuff. I don't know. I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's got like big pieces like this. So I'm going to test my grinder with this stuff and see if it'll grind it. I hope it does because it'd be cool to use this in a powdered form. So anyway, let's get to it. Oh, and here's the rabbit manure. Rabbit manure, a worm's favorite food. So here I have the peat moss again with water. And I made the water hotter this time and it broke up a lot faster. Just don't get burned, please, if you do this. So I'm going to let it soak a little bit. But since we're doing the European night crawlers, let's see if I could do it a different way, just to see what happens. You know I'm the adventurous one with experiments. So there's the peat moss. So here I have the hummus and manure. And here I have the mushroom compost. So we're going to stir that in. And if you do all these things and you don't have enough bedding, feel free to add more. But what I would add more into this would be peat moss. I wouldn't add any more of the other ingredients. So this is not deep enough. Even though some people do it like this, I just want to add a little bit more. It just feels more comfortable doing that. So okay. So if you don't have these materials, another thing you can use as bedding, and I'm going to do it for this bin, is shredded newspaper. Shredded newspaper. Especially if you have your paper delivered, or your neighbor or somebody, and you want to recycle it instead of letting this go in your landfill. Use it. Even if they're breeder bins, just use it. It's okay. But with the European night crawlers coming, we're going to see, since this is going to be a breeder bin, we're going to see how long it's going to take them to eat this. I imagine it would go fast because look how skinny these little things are. And I haven't wet this because the bottom material is wet. So I'm just going to fluff it all up. And I have a shredder. Before I got a shredder, I used to do like psh, psh, psh by hand. Oh man, it would take me such a long time. But then Joe had a shredder in his office, and I noticed he wasn't using it, so I snagged it. And he's like, "Where's my shredder?" I said, "Well, I gave him as a gift to the worms." He's like, "Okay." So I have a shredder now. All right. So I put rabbit manure in here, and we're covering it up with shredded newspaper. And I'm going to wet this down. Oh, and I put a little chow in here. And this is the chow I use. Well, I'm going to use this one today. This chow is from one of my eBay adventures. I'm gonna make a separate video on just the things I try from eBay that are worm or composting related. I just get curious, you know, to see like what's gonna happen. So here we have the oyster shell, and remember it's not ground up yet, but I'm gonna put it in there anyway. So I have my new frog worm bin upstairs, and the worms I ordered from this man on eBay, it's 100 red wigglers, are coming. So I'm gonna bring Gaetano's worms down here, and then I'm gonna have those upstairs because I'm not really sure what he's sending me. I hope they're red wigglers, but you know, people are very devious. Sometimes they'll advertise red wigglers and then you'll get like 90% blues, which blues are not bad worms, but if you want red wigglers, you ordered those, you know, you should get those. But blues are also like very hyper. They're very fast. They have huge appetites, but they sense water or hear water or rain. They tend to crawl. There's a guy on YouTube that took a Home Depot bucket and he cut the lid off in the middle and he put mesh, and that's how he keeps his blues in. And even with the lid pressed down, he says they still sometimes go out like the edge of the lid. I don't know how they do it. They are very clever magicians, clever little guys. So these bottles, I have a few of them. These are the bottles of the leftover creamer. I don't drink creamer in my coffee, but Joe does. So when he's done with it, I wash it and I just rip the plastic off, and look, you got like a nice little bottle to hold water. AJ would love this idea. AJ from Green Topics, because you know, you're recycling, you're reusing, so you don't have to put this in the landfill. And I have a bunch of them saved, so I fill them all with water and I just leave them hanging around because the water needs to evaporate a little bit, let all the bad stuff out. So we're gonna wet this, and we're gonna see how the Euros do with newspaper, the rabbit manure, and the chow on top. So hopefully they'll like it. I'm not gonna put alfalfa on this one, even though I did with the other one. So we're gonna see what they're gonna do. Okay, so I mixed in my peat moss, my mushroom compost, and my manure humus. Have you guys ever felt mushroom compost? It feels amazing. I can't even explain the texture of this stuff. It's so soft. I don't know, it feels like, it's kind of like the same, kind of like a nice soft sand. I like it. So here's my grinder for the food. Not the grinder. So another recycling thing I do is in my shredder. I had a million of these left over from some craft my daughters and I did. I don't even remember. Actually, I think they made those little paper hand puppets. So anyway, this shredder does a really good job on these, and I'm gonna use that also as bedding. I mean, why not? I got 2 full packs. What am I gonna do with them? Might as well. So I think over here, Joe's gonna hang somewhere a paper towel dispenser for me so that I could, you know, just wipe everything down a little bit in my hands. Okay, so remember the Alaskan ice worms? Let's just peek at them. I'm not doing like a video on them specifically. Let's just peek at them and see if we see movement. I do. Look, the chow is disappearing. Let's look in this one and see. Yeah, they're eating everything. Don't you love when you lift up the paper and you see like wiggling and then they all like disappear? At least you know there's like action going on down there. Well, guys, there you have it. Hi, Olive. The Euro's house is ready to go. The next one I'll do is the African night crawlers, and I do them a little different too. So once I use up all my ingredients here, the basic breeding bins are going to be peat moss and the eggshell stuff and lime and maybe some rabbit manure or another manure I could get my hands on. It'll just be the basic things once I get rid of everything back here. Commercial wise, that's wiser, you know, less ingredients, less money to spend. So now I have to take care of my towers, and yeah, they need some tending too. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel and all my craziness here, go ahead and do that, and find me on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time. So take care.